Hello viewers, welcome to lecture series on population study and management. Today we will discuss about talent management and population. After opening of the Indian economy, the impact of restructuring, economic transition to an open market and increased competition from internal and external sources has put pressure on all functions of organization. There has been evidence of general need among the managerial cadre to build capabilities, resources, competencies, strategies and macro as well as micro human resource activities. Some leading organizations have brought out newer issues in the strategic management of their human resource function, and talent management is one issue. Talent management is fast gaining priority in organizations across the world. It was initially designed to improve the process for recruiting and developing people with the required skills and aptitude to meet current organizational needs. The various aspects of talent management are recruiting, selection, onboarding, mentoring, performance management, career development, leadership development, replacement planning, career planning, recognition and reward. Finding and retaining talented employee is a major priority of the organization. In order to attract and retain the best talent anywhere in the world, an organization must have a strong and positive employer brand. Employer brand interventions indicate talent management as a key driver. For example, Google is a good employer brand because of their human resource strategies, which gives reason to people for desire to work with Google. Talent has become the key differentiator for human capital management and for competitive advantage. Grounded with strategic human resource, the management of talent is one of the key functions that human resource management has strategically in the organization, which looks at performance, results as an opportunity for an assessment of ability to lead and also towards the lower performance and unhappy staff who do not fulfill their potential and thus would reflect low talent engagement. Talent management is an area which needs a special focus on employee engagement score and what level are various talent segments and departments engaged. Let us now look at these special areas of talent management. Number 1, employee engagement. As a key to the retention of talent is an area in which the lead has been taken by practitioners. According to CEO Speak Inhibit Best Employer Survey 2004, among the many key people challenges, one is to build a fierce employer brand equity, and one way to do that is to retain employee. This is possible if organization provide them with a passion to work and an engrossing environment which maximizes their performance and gives a continuous work experience that is difficult for competitor to replicate. Managers are an important key in this equation. Further, an employer of choice recruits and engages talent through practices that addresses both tangibles and intangibles with a focus on the long term as well as short term and are tailored to the organization. Effective talent management policies and practices demonstrate commitment to human capital, resulting in more engaged employee and lower turnover. Consequently, employee engagement has a substantial impact on employee productivity and talent retention. Employee engagement, in fact, can make or break the bottom line. In order to obtain high performance in this post-industrial intangible work that demands innovation, flexibility and speed, employers need to engage their employees by giving them participation, freedom and trust is the most comprehensive response to the growing post-industrial values of self-realization and self-actualization. According to resource-based view, engaged employees with an organization provide a competitive advantage to organization. The resource-based view postulates that human and organizational resources more than physical, technical or financial resources can provide a firm with sustained competitive advantage because they are particularly difficult to emulate. According to this view, the firms can develop sustained competitive advantage only by creating value in a way that is rare and difficult for competitors to imitate. This approach requires that firms should not be seen as product service provider, but as a unique bundle of resources that are complex, intangible and dynamic. Engaged employees are strong organizational assets for sustained competitive advantage and a strategic asset. A strategic asset is the set of difficult to trade in and imitate scarce, appropriable and specialized resource and capabilities that bestows a firm's competitive advantage. These engaged employees are difficult to imitate and are unique to an organization. This lending credence to the resource-based perspective of the firm. Second, level of talent segments in employee engagement. Various talent segments and departments for employee engagement are categorized in different levels and can also be considered as levels that derive employee engagement. Number 1, make work meaningful. The first and perhaps most important part of employee engagement is job person fit. That means selecting the right people for the right job. Technology has transformed every job. Well-run companies constantly look at the work they do, trying to find ways to outsource more to technology and produce more output with less expensive human input. Despite these pressures to improve productivity, research shows that when we enrich jobs, giving people more autonomy, decision-making power, time and support, the company makes more money. For example, today every organized retail store are staffed by people cross-trained to handle many positions. They manage cash register, stock shelves, rearrange the store, develop promotion and manage others. The result is both a set of highly empowered team that have the training and freedom to be both autonomous and productive, as well as above average retention and engagement rates. The concept of culture has also become an important part of job fit. For example, Zappos, a company that prides itself on culture as a strategy, uses its 10 crore value to assess people for culture fit in the early stage of the application process. By getting to know candidate well through online and phone meetings before people even apply for jobs, Zappos can assess fit and help people decide if they should even apply for a job. This type of assessment has helped Zappos maintain a high level of engagement, low turnover and its place among one of the best customer service providers in online retail. Meaningful work takes place in small teams. Small teams feel empowered, they make decisions faster and the people get to know each other and can lend a hand when one of the teammates needs help. Finally, engaged people need time to think, create and rest. At Google, this policy is called 20% time, a day in a week set aside to work on something new or outside the normal job function. A well-known retailer, for example, sends workers home when the store is slow. They are free to run errands, have lunch with their families or just relax. Then, when things get busy, they return to the store. Such companies are one of the most profitable in their industry. In part, because slack time gives its workforce the freedom to take care of their home lives and put more effort into their work. Overworked people tend to burn out, produce low quality output, provide lower levels of customer service, become depressed and sometimes just flap around in their exhaustion. Giving people time lets them relax, enjoy, engage and perform better. Next is foster great management. Management is the most important capability organization have. CEOs create strategy, investors optimize capital and marketers create demand. But when it comes to building products and offering service clients and develop internal process, middle management make things happen. Management's job is to set goal, support people, coach for high performance and provide feedback to continuously improve. Investment in fundamental management practices has a tremendous impact on engagement, performance and retention. In review of engagement issue, the first area in importance of simple, clear goals. When people have clear defined goals that are written down and shared freely, everyone feels more comfortable and more work gets done. Goals create alignment, clarity and job satisfaction, and they have to be revisited and discussed regularly. Goal setting is a challenge. Only 51% of companies even attempt to develop aligned goals, and among these only 6% regularly revisit them. Too many companies write down annual goals and only look at them at the end of the year. Companies that revisit goals quarterly have threefold greater improvement in performance and retention than those that revisit goal yearly. High performing managers create simple goals, make sure they are clear and transparent, and revisit them regularly. Google, for example, uses an agile goal setting process called OKR, Objectives and Key Results, which was originally developed at Intel. The process is simple and effective. Each individual, from CEO down, set ambitious and measurable objectives. For example, Gmail version X by year end, and are asked to define key results that monitor their progress. Everyone's OKRs are public, so it is easy to see what the CEO or your peer is holding himself or herself accountable for. At Google, this creates alignment because employees can see who is dependent on their work. People feel comfortable that they know what to do, they see what others are working on, and the measurement of their performance is clear. The second management practice that drives engagement is coaching. A coaching culture is practice that's most highly correlated with business performance, employee engagement, and overall retention. When new managers are promoted to supervisory positions, they often think their job is to direct or evaluate people. While directed management is important, it plays a smaller role than one might think. It is the coaching and development role of management that is the most valuable. Coaches understand people's strengths, move them into position, and rearrange work to leverage these strengths and coach them to build on these strengths. The third factor in management is leadership development. Organizations with high levels of employee engagement focus on developing great leaders. They invest heavily in management development and ensure that new leaders are given ample support. High impact leadership organizations spend 1.5 to 3 times more on management development than their peers. This continuous focus on building leaders, connecting leaders to each other, and giving leaders the coaching they need is critical in building a highly engaged workforce. The fourth factor is to re-engineer the annual performance appraisal. This process, which has been institutionalized in more the companies, is among the most damaging and disheartening process employees face each year. Only companies think the process is worth the time they put into it, and the focus on rating and ranking takes the focus away from coaching and development that people often desperately need. It is important for companies to remember that management's job is not to manage work but rather to develop, coach and help people. Rewarding managers only for making their numbers incentivized, also called talent hoarding, attract the best people and holds on to them for years. Inclusive workplace. Given the nature of work today, if leaders want people to engage with their organization, they have to give them a flexible and supportive work environment. For example, Google has bowling alley and yoga rooms, free food, yoga classes, happy hours, commute buses with internet access, and even free laundry services. These things now have become commonplace in high pressure companies across a wide range of industries. These are no longer just perks, they are essential elements of making work fit into lives. In addition to such benefits and employee wellness program, flexible workplace have a major impact on engagement. They bring executives out into the open, they enable people to meet more easily, and they give people highly flexible places to work depending on the way they feel on a given day. Modern workspaces give people the flexibility to be together or alone depending on the task at hand. A second key engagement driver is the need for continuous and ongoing recognition. As soft as it seems, saying thank you is an extraordinary tool building an engaged team. These companies build a culture of recognition through social reward system, weekly or monthly thank you activities, and a general culture of appreciating everyone from top to bottom. The key to success there is to create a social environment where recognition can flow from peer to peer, freeing managers from being the judge and jury of employee recognition. Companies that build this culture see tremendous impact. For example, when JetBlue implemented a peer-to-peer recognition system focused on company value, employee satisfaction surged by 88%. Next is create ample opportunity for growth. Building opportunity for growth is a complex and systemic challenge. First, there has to be developmental opportunities, both formal and informal, that will help people learn on the job, take development assignment and find support when they need help. Second, a company must support and honor talent mobility. Managers and the company as a whole need to support and facilitate internal mobility, giving people the freedom to try something new and move from a role where they are highly productive to one where they may be trainee again. Organization must look at their management and leadership behavior to make sure that learning, development and mobility are rewarded. Leaders must also be rewarded for developing people, moving people into the best role and keeping retention high. Organizations with a strong learning culture are 92% more likely to develop novel product and process, 52% more productive, 56% more likely to be the first to market with their product and services, and 17% more profitable than their peers. Their engagement and retention rates are also 30 to 50% higher. One of the best examples of a learning culture is what happens in a retail environment. Most customers have been in stores where employees are trained and empowered. As soon as something is missing or perhaps hard to find, the employee figures out where it is, finds the right size and helps customer complete a purchase. Underpowered employees who are not cross-trained, however, may just tell customer to ask someone else. Next is establishing vision, purpose and transparency in leadership. Leadership practices most directly impact employee engagement. There are 4 such practices that impact the employee engagement. The first is to develop and communicate a strong sense of purpose. When organizations define their success through the eyes of their customer, stakeholders or society, people come alive. Mission-driven companies have 30% higher levels of innovation and 40% higher levels of retention, and they tend to be first or second in their market segment. Defining company's value in terms of all its stakeholders, employees, investors, partners and customers result in the better performance of business. For example, pharmaceutical companies are redefining themselves as wellness companies. Retailers are redefining themselves as place for healthy food. Tech companies define themselves as businesses to help people obtain information, and the list goes on. When companies offer people a mission and purpose greater than financial return, they attract passionate individuals who want to contribute. That brings a level of commitment and engagement which no compensation package can create. The second important element in leadership is transparency. Through social network and the internet, we are all accustomed to rapid, open, transparent communication. Transparency from leadership rates as among the most important driver of company loyalty. Leaders must continuously invest in people. High engagement companies have executives who spend money in learning, regularly meeting with team and provide feedback and genuinely care about each individual. Companies that over-invest in learning and development, spending per employee, rated highest in employee retention, innovation and customer service, and outperform their peers in long-term profitability. This shows that investment in people matters during good times and bad. Senior leaders must continuously focus on inspiration. Through their words, communications and actions, the top executive ultimately have to engage everyone in the organization by talking about their future, sharing the vision and translating the business strategy into meaningful personal concepts. Leadership can be one of the most important drivers of engagement. Next is focus on simplicity. Highly engaged companies work hard to make work simple. They remove administrative overhead in favor of trust, autonomy and focus on cooperation. Simplicity or the removal of former bureaucratic overhead can have a dramatic impact on work satisfaction. A series of work productive studies by the University of Rotterdam show that workers who operate in highly complex environments tend to have increased levels of cardiovascular and other illness unless they are given extraordinary amount of autonomy and local support. An example of simplicity in work is Southwest Airlines, one of the top 20 rated employers in 2014, honed simplicity and empowered in its business model. The company focuses heavily on employee empowerment in its management training, letting the local team, that is the airline crew, make all the decisions they need to run safely, on time and on budget. The company also works hard to keep its entire business simple. Southwest uses a single airplane model Boeing 737 and a common boarding and reservation processes for every flight. The company has celebrated more than 40 years of profitability and continues to score among the highest in customer satisfaction year after year. Employee engagement is the basic method of talent management. Human resource and leadership must develop a complete understanding and mindset of these factors and how they are all interrelated. Almost every management practices impact employee engagement, further having impact on talent management. So while we focus on performance, growth and innovation, we must simultaneously focus on the impact that each strategy has on individual people. Teams committed to mission, passionate about their work and willing and ready to work together succeed over time. Today's technology-flooded world of work has become complex, demanding and integrated into our lives. Companies today find it daunting and difficult. They can plot their path to the future and design organizations that will thrive with passion, performance and engagement by focusing on the above mentioned points. What we have discussed till now deals with defining talent management and the special focus area in talent management, that is employee engagement and levels of employee engagement. In the competitive environment where each and every department of organization is striving to meet the objective, talent management is important to retain the right person for right job. To understand how the companies manage to fit the right person to right job, we need to look at the other factor or approaches of the organization for developing talent management. We will further look into the concepts in talent management in the succeeding lectures. Thanks for watching this program.